In the land of Canaan, Jacob lived with his 12 sons. Among them, Joseph was his favorite, gifted with dreams and a coat of many colors. Jacob's favoritism sowed seeds of jealousy among his other sons. One night, Joseph had a dream and excitedly told his brothers, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brothers responded angrily, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" They hated him even more because of his dream and what he had said. Undeterred, Joseph had another dream and shared it with his family, saying, "I had another dream, and this time the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." When he told his father and brothers, his father rebuked him. "What is this dream you had? Will your mother, I, and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" Jacob's favoritism continued, and Joseph's brothers grew increasingly resentful. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who conspired to kill him. "Here comes that dreamer," they said. "Let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns, then say a ferocious animal devoured him." Reuben, trying to save Joseph, said, "Let's not take his life. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern, but don't lay a hand on him." He intended to rescue Joseph later. When Ishmaelite traders passed by, Judah suggested, "What will we gain if we kill our brother? Let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he's our brother, our own flesh and blood." So they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Joseph's brothers returned to Jacob, they deceitfully presented his colorful coat, stained with animal blood, claiming Joseph had been killed by a wild beast. Heartbroken, Jacob mourned deeply for his beloved son, whom he thought was gone forever. The loss of Joseph plunged Jacob into lasting grief. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. In Potiphar's house, Joseph found himself in a new world, far from his father's favor. Yet even in servitude, Joseph's integrity and God-given abilities shone brightly. Potiphar recognized Joseph's exceptional qualities and appointed him overseer of his household. Under Joseph's care, Potiphar's house flourished. However, Joseph's virtue was soon tested. Potiphar's wife, captivated by Joseph's appearance, tried to seduce him. "Come lie with me," she said. Joseph, faithful to his master and to God, resisted, saying, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Frustrated, Potiphar's wife falsely accused him of assault, and Joseph was thrown into prison, a place for Pharaoh's enemies and criminals. Even in prison, Joseph's character and talents were noticed. The warden put him in charge of all the prisoners, recognizing his ability to bring order and efficiency. It was here that Joseph's gift of interpreting dreams emerged. 2 of Pharaoh's officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, were imprisoned, and each had troubling dreams. Joseph, filled with compassion, asked, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." The chief cupbearer recounted his dream of pressing wine into Pharaoh's cup, while the baker described his dream of birds eating bread from a basket on his head. Joseph interpreted the dreams, foretelling that the cupbearer would be restored to his position in 3 days, while the baker would be executed. True to Joseph's words, the events unfolded as he had said. Yet, the cupbearer, once restored, forgot about Joseph, leaving him in prison for 2 more years. Finally, Joseph's moment came. Pharaoh himself had troubling dreams that none of his wise men could interpret. The cupbearer remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about the young Hebrew in prison who had accurately interpreted dreams. Summoned before Pharaoh, Joseph stood as a beacon of wisdom. Pharaoh recounted his dreams of 7 fat cows devoured by 7 gaunt cows, and 7 healthy ears of grain consumed by 7 thin, scorched ears. Joseph, guided by God's wisdom, interpreted the dreams as foretelling 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to oversee the storage of grain during the plentiful years to prepare for the famine. Impressed, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as second in command, tasking him with the preparations. As the famine ravaged Canaan, Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain, unaware that the Egyptian ruler was Joseph. Joseph recognized his brothers, but kept his identity hidden. Testing their character, he accused them of being spies and demanded they bring their youngest brother Benjamin to prove their innocence. When they returned with Benjamin, Joseph arranged a feast, but secretly returned their payment and placed his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. When the cup was discovered, Judah pleaded with Joseph to take him as a slave instead of Benjamin, as Jacob could not bear to lose another son. Touched by his brothers' changed hearts, Joseph revealed himself, saying, "I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Do not be distressed, for God sent me before you to preserve life." Joseph invited his family to live in Egypt, where he could provide for them during the famine. Jacob, after some convincing, agreed to move to Egypt, and the family was joyfully reunited. Joseph's story is a testament to forgiveness, reconciliation, and God's providence. He reassured his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish the saving of many lives." Joseph's wisdom and foresight saved Egypt, his family, and many others from starvation. His life serves as a reminder that even in adversity, God is at work, turning evil into good and fulfilling his promises for those who trust in him. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.